Discuss and consider ordinance banning needle distribution programs. So I think I got a second on that because I see a whole discussion considered something to make the needle distribution program better. Here's where I think this goes. We're going to have a bunch of public discussion. People are going to say various things. One side's going to attack and say this stops AIDS and hepatitis C, and the other people are going to say this makes for an unsafe community. One group is going to have all kinds of old statistics that are probably wrong and haven't worked other places, and the other group's going to say this is common sense and logical, and why in God's name would you ever hand these things out? And there's no logical way that a needle distribution actually cuts down on needle trash in the community. A needle exchange might. My fear is we're going to end up somewhere on some kind of compromise that asks North Valley Harm Reduction Coalition to do their job. I was going to say do their job better, but I don't think they do it because they're supposed to be cleaning things up. That's not happening. We do have statistics from the police department proving that. So I'm not going to make a motion. I'm not going to do anything other than say this is why I brought this up. I think that common sense dictates that the parks, the public waterways, everywhere we go, our children, our civilians, any of these people shouldn't have to come across. It's not one or two needles. There's needles everywhere. Our police department's being called on to pick these things up. That's not their job. We're spending far too much time and resources and efforts picking up after people that can't make good decisions. It's now through no fault of their own. I'm not even faulting them. If I started shooting heroin, I'm sure in a week I couldn't make a proper decision. Okay, but if I started showing up at a park where they're giving me a bunch of needles, that's not going to suddenly make me get any better. This gets back to our conversation earlier about accountability and which part of society or this city do we want to honor and protect. I want to honor and protect everybody, but there's no compassion in giving drug kits to drug addicts. It's like giving a guy driving a DUI, pulling him over, giving him a bottle of vodka and saying, go about your merry way. I don't care what statistics anybody has. People have been talking about, people come up here and go, oh, this person says they've lived in this community longer than this person, that person's a white supremacist because they took it from the Indians and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and I lived here and I didn't live here, and I've lived here since I was 4. And this is not the community I grew up in. I wouldn't take my kids to the park if they were young. I wouldn't let them slide down the slides. And for them to say, oh, you just have to go check for the needles first? Well, no, this isn't San Francisco. It's not LA. It's not Seattle. I don't want it to become that way. And that's why I will stand by the ban. And I will not negotiate for an exchange for any reason unless it is pushed down our throats by the state, which it has been. And when I make the motion, we'll go from there. But that's my opening slavo. Thank you.
The San Diego bit, there was a lawsuit brought by the City of Anaheim, Costa Mesa, City of Orange, City of Newport Beach, and the Orange County Flood Control District. That was then moved to the County of San Diego Superior Court, and that was actually decided today, that case. And there was a hearing on that matter, and the court found in favor of the cities, the government agencies in that, and found that the state had violated CEQA in making the permit and licensing. So the California Department of Public Health issuing its license was in violation of CEQA.
The motion is to have a 30-day-ish, look what our meetings, time period to have a revised program upgrades, improvements, suggestions back from NVHRC, and direct staff during that time to be able to advise us as to, and I will add now, county involvement and how we can get them involved, and just the facts so we have them as to what other communities have done. Specifically, we were looking at Orange County and Costa Mesa, just to have the information so it can all come back as a conversation and we can all have an educated decision with lots of stuff in front of us.
I have time frame of 30 days for the coalition to come back, or possibly more than that. Coalition to come back with proposed changes, direct the city attorney to continue to look into what other cities have done to ban it. Oh, and then, I'm sorry. In addition to, I believe the county was part of it. Okay, so Councilmember Huber. Councilmember Morgan. Councilmember Ori.
Aye.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Aye.
Councilmember Schwab. Vice Mayor Brown.
No.
Mayor Stone.
Aye.
Okay, it carries 5-2.